Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 78 of the Club Lorcana podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jeremy Bertrioni. With me, as always, my best friends, and Syed.
Hello, hello.
And we, of course, are joined by our two amazing co-hosts. We have Ryan Walker on my side.
What's up, everybody?
Nathan Tripp on the other.
Hey.
We got an awesome episode for you guys because Winter Spell is here. The starting pistol has been fired, and the players are testing. So, I mean, Zan, how do you want to direct this episode? Where are we starting?
I mean, we'll start off with the metagame.
Let's do it. The classic Club Lorcana formula. We're starting with the metagame. Tell me a little bit about the pillars.
So, our last video, we played dogs versus Blue Yellow.
Blue Yellow, the fun new control deck that I'm calling Old Reliable.
Blue Yellow.
New pillar of the format?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Question mark?
Hopeful?
Yeah, I think it's the real deal.
I mean, I think the deck is very good. I think it has legs. It's tough to know because I feel like it has a tough time with purple decks, and purple's like a huge part of Lorcana, but I feel really good into aggressive decks, and I feel really good into mid-range aggressive decks that are not purple. So things like blue steel, yellow red, these new decks.
Yeah.
That's our fish food.
I mean, I would probably put it in my utility belt to bring out for after a specific deck one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's the best choice in the blind, but it's kind of like how blue steel was last set in the sense that it was one of the top decks but wasn't quite there. And so this deck is probably a little bit more powerful than blue steel was last set, just like a tiny bit, but it's like in the same category in the sense that it has very specific good matchups and some really, really bad matchups.
Absolutely. So blue yellow joins the ranks of the top decks, and so tell me about the rest of them. So I'll just say one. I think Blurple's really good right now. Blurple might be my choice, for the first tournament of set 11.
Yeah.
So controversial.
I don't know. I think a lot of people are rating it really highly. It's got some more tools. It got Let It Go back. The new Pete. I really like the new Pete. He's also really good in the Allies deck for Blue Steel. I think that the blue decks have a lot of options that they've been given.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, there's a lot of new tools that make the Blurple deck possible to win against aggressive decks. Since rotation, if you think about the problem of a Daisy Duck and you're playing blue and purple, let's even just put you on the play. Picture this game. You go, Ink Pass, they go Daisy Duck. Okay, well, that's not good, but you have ramp on 2, right? So you go, play Ink, and then you Tipo, and then they quest with Daisy Duck. Then you hit your 4, and now it's okay, this is what I sacrificed my turn 2 for, and this is why I'm skipping turn 3, is I have the very powerful 4 drop. But what 4 drop is beating Daisy Duck?
Sven.
Now Sven, but before that it was nothing. So you were on the hook for the Daisy Duck gaining at least 6 lore while you were getting all your stuff together. Maybe if you had a Basil, you could make something work with Basil and your 4 drop if it was like a Genie, but that's still Daisy Duck questing 2 or 3 times. Now we have Sven. So Sven comes in, switches the whole thing up. You can attack the Daisy Duck right away, and then you're left with a powerful challenger. It's almost like you have Madam Mim Fox back.
Yep.
That flips the whole thing on its head.
Yeah, I love that. I miss Madam Mim Fox.
Madam Mim Fox is an amazing card. Because if you think about it, then you have a 4/3 that's exerted. It has 1 damage on it. Their Daisy's gone, and suddenly they have this huge, powerful character that they have to get rid of.
Yeah.
Sven is like an upgrade to that, because if you're ramping on 2 anyway, your 4-cost thing is effectively your 3-cost thing, and Sven doesn't need to bounce something. So now, with very little going on the board, you can challenge some of their high toughness characters that they're using to hope to get around you. So before, your option for that Daisy Duck was you could maybe end the unknown it on that turn, which is a complete non-starter. So is it really that big of a deal? I think so, because if they get to 6 on just 1 card in the early game, and they played 2 other cards, they're actually probably more likely at 8 or 9 or, God forbid, 10 if it was a lady tramp situation.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just too much to come back from. So now you're saving yourself quite a bit of lore in the Blurple versus aggressive deck mirrors by having a powerful anti-aggressive tool on turn 3. So that has sort of positioned this deck to be the new, I think, tier 0 choice. That's how I feel about Blurple. Because now that you have a good anti-aggressive tool, if you start curving out from then on, it all looks way better, right? If you go Sven into Elsa 5, it's way different than Genie into Elsa 5 against an Amber deck, because now you're potentially knocking out 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before, and one of them wasn't even exerted at the start of the turn. Whereas before, it was now these can double up to kill a 1/4. Something like a Mulan on the other side of the battlefield that threatens to quest for a bunch all of a sudden gets eaten up by Sven, and Sven's already eaten 2 things.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sven is definitely a nice little piece. I think Let It Go is probably the most important piece, just because it works so well with Demona.
Mhm.
So if you have like a 3-drop and a 5-drop, or a 4-drop and a 5-drop, you can sing Into the Unknown and then Let It Go, and then play Demona and draw all your cards, and then sing another one, and then your Demona is just like super active, and your opponent has a bunch of ink, but they have to compete against the cards that you just named, like a 4-drop, a 5-drop, and a 6-drop in purple. That's like impossible.
Let It Go has a bunch of gameplay implications that are like hard to figure out immediately. It seems so like blasé. Like, yeah, I just have a removal spell. What's the difference? But like, you have to understand that like purple decks didn't really have that before, right? You had purple steel that had some damage-based removal spells. This, of course, has its limitations. Strength of a Raging Fire being one that is like, how many of us have inked a Strength of a Raging Fire on turn 10 because we have one guy in play and we might draw a dock? It's like everybody, right? But no limitations. That character is no longer on the field. It's going to matter, especially when you're drawing so many cards with things like Junior Woodchuck Guidebook, Demona. A 1-for-1 on their best guy looks really attractive.
The way I think about Let It Go is basically any card that costs more than Let It Go is a liability.
Mhm.
So if you play a card that costs more than Let It Go, it needs to get its value the moment it comes down. Because if it gets Let It Go, then you're not getting a whole bunch back. So now it raises the question, okay, is Pete good or bad into Let It Go? And it's like, okay, maybe Pete's good if you were able to play Pete and activate it once and it gets Let It Go. Or is that still not good enough?
Well, it might just be fine because if you spend 5 on Pete and they spend 5 on Let It Go, you guys kind of traded fine.
What if they sang it?
If they sang it, you're in a bad spot. But if they just played it, then you took turn 5 off, they took turn 5 off. No harm, no foul.
That's fair.
It favors whoever was ahead, which I'm assuming it's you because you're on the play because you just Pete'd into saying go and then they let it go.
So now let's say they take their time to play a 5-drop.
Yeah.
And then the next turn you get 1 card out of it because you activated it for the first time. So it's just a regular, just draw 1.
Sure.
But it costs you a total of 6. And the next turn they sing Let It Go. Does it put you in a good spot or a bad spot?
I think a good spot. You're up 2 ink. You drew a card, and your opponent's down a card. That's great.
Yeah. So now what we're saying is, if your guy didn't draw you a card, you're always in a bad spot. And
Sure.
if you didn't put a card underneath it, you're in an even worse spot. So basically, what that's doing is saying like anything that isn't at least this value is a bad card, and so that creates a lot. Like that implies that like, okay, now I need to think about my deck building. Anything that costs more needs to replace itself this time over before you get good value.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like when you get to 7, you better be careful on what 7 you're willing to play, or what 8 you're willing to play, or what 9 you're willing to play,
Yeah.
because it's such a huge swing. Let It Go just creates a huge swing. Whereas Into the Unknown is a card that has another if statement, which essentially allows you to play around it if you want to.
Absolutely. I mean, that was always the thing. So you could hang Pete back 2 or 3 times before you quested into the unknown.
Yeah. So, but besides Blurple, I mean, Dogs is definitely one of the top decks, and I think it directly challenges Blurple. And I think Blurple has very limited amount of options to deal with it, while being able to deal with other Blurple decks on its own.
One thing I will say is that Dogs, like a kid on Christmas, just got a lot of new toys and is kind of figuring out what to play with.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're looking at a bunch of new tools that like maybe don't fit or don't work. You can't play everything. You have to pick some things. You know what I mean? Are we playing Pudge? Are we playing this new Mulan? And I think that in the early stages, Dogs might be the hardest deck to figure out right now.
No, I agree. I mean, let's talk about how we came to the deck that we played in yesterday's video, which was Dogs versus Yellow Blue. The Yellow Blue deck was your Yellow Blue deck, which was interesting. It had 61 cards.
It did.
That was cool.
I tried to take out a Hades, and you were like, you have to play this Hades. And I was like, well, that means it's 61.
Some of them.
No,
they
it was
had-
61 before. You cut a Mufasa to play the 4th.
Yeah, I
Hades.
cut a Mufasa to play Hades,
Yeah.
but that went 61 to 61.
He had
Yeah.
some number of develops in there, so the 61 could be the develop.
I guess.
We
Well,
said
not-
that's fine.
not
There's
playing
19
Hades.
uninkable, so we are like, which is insane for a sale deck. So I'm not sure if that's where we land.
I think my deck is not finished right now. My deck is right now. I'm figuring stuff out.
But that's the point of these videos, is like we're trying to capture it in this moment in time and see how it develops. So with the dogs deck, Nathan, how did we get that dogs list?
So we played a lot. But what we did is we kind of took a survey of a lot of like what people were playing.
On Dreamlord.
And one of the main cards I think that we talked about, we didn't know if we wanted to play, was the Lilo.
Yep.
So this leaned into like a lot of people are really excited. You've seen a lot of people post about the Stitch, like just filling up the board, right? You got the new Lilo that quests for 2. You have a Stitch in play. And so kind of shifting a little bit away from the classic dog, we decided that we're gonna try out a little bit of the Lilo and Stitch package. So you got this new Stitch 1-drop, which gives Reckless. We played.
Sidebar: Stitch a dog? Yes or no?
Yes.
I believe I would say that Stitch is a dog. Let us know in the comments if you believe that Stitch is a dog.
Stitch is not a dog.
Stitch can be whatever he wants to be. He can be the alien version or he can be the dog version.
True.
So he disguises himself as a dog.
No, it's not a disguise. He is
He
an
is a
alien
dog.
dog.
Why does he don the form of dog? Do you remember?
Because so Lilo would adopt him.
To be cute and cuddly.
Exactly.
But I think didn't Lilo meet Stitch as a 6-armed alien? Was like, you got to cut it back, and then he turned into a dog because it was a disguise he needed to do.
Sure.
Okay, great. So he's disguised as a dog.
No.
All those in favor of dog? Aye.
Oh,
He's a dog.
he's a doggy dog.
don't agree at all.
So a natural addition to the dogs deck, or maybe not. That's what I think what you were talking about, Jeremy, is like there's a lot to experiment with right now.
So we basically looked at Dreamborn. We took whatever the most popular versions were and we combined it into what we saw the most of. And the most of the stuff was the Lilo and Stitch version rather than the Lady and Tramp version. Which is really interesting. I don't think it's gonna end up that way. I will say that there is a huge upside in playing the Lilo and Stitch, like more Lilo and Stitch version, which is like you can be more explosive if you get the right cards at the right time.
We play a bunch of Pudge.
Pudge is a very interesting card. I still can't tell if it's good or bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure on it. It's like often he just quests once, and it costs you a card in hand, and so one lore costing a card in hand in dogs. I'm still not entirely sure. You got to play for free, but I don't know.
Turn 1, Lilo, 4 Pudge, go. You're gonna lose.
No, that's just like that's. I think okay. What's better? Turn 1 Lilo, 4 Pudges,
Yeah.
or turn 2. You go like Daisy Duck, Daisy Duck, Daisy Duck.
Yeah, 3 daisies versus 1 Lilo and 4 Pudges.
So let's think about it toughness.
I
wise.
take the daisies.
The toughness is 15.
Yeah.
No, you played a what? A Lilo 2,
Yeah, 2.
and then 14
12. 14 to
versus
12.
to 12.
Yeah.
But it's 6 lore versus 5 lore.
Yeah,
And
but
you don't give 2 cards to your
you
opponent.
give a million cards to your opponent.
I mean, we don't know if you give cards or not.
No, you do.
You're gonna probably like, at least give them 2, but I don't know.
But if they've lost, then why does it matter?
It can be 6 if the Lilo is the one that quests for 2 if you have a Stitch and the next time you play Stitch.
But you lost 5 cards yourself.
Yeah, you don't have any cards. You're not playing.
yeah, their 1-drop they play a Rafiki, right? They killed a Pudge or a Lilo, and then they sailed and played another 1-drop. They're trading versus they're not able to do that if you played the daisies. It's much tougher for them to clean up.
Give me the
this way.
pantheon of Pudges.
The pantheon of Pudges, because Pudge is a deity.
Oh, so should we play the
Yep. The sword.
what is the sword called?
It kills Pudge.
And
Kills
Hades.
Hades. Those are probably the
Hades.
Hades. I mean, those are 2 good targets.
Yeah, but it's a weird spread of targets. It doesn't like there's not like a category. They don't belong in a category together. Pudge and Hades.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
All right, so
Deity.
instead of Daisy, let's talk about another relevant card. Would you prefer Lilo and all those Pudges, or a Daisy, a Willow, and a Daisy, and then play Tramp next turn?
I mean, you could have played the Tramp off of the Pudge.
But you
Play
still have
Tramp.
more. You have more cards in hand. If you do the Pudge strategy, depending on player draw, you wouldn't have enough cards in hand to
I mean, the
filter.
fact that all of these are possible is what makes it scary.
Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting deck for sure. So we're talking about Blurple. We're talking about dogs. Anybody else in the ring?
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about what's in between both of those. I think a yellow red strategy lines up pretty well against that because you can go turn 1 Mulan and then turn 2 your favorite guy. What's his name?
Big Von Drake.
No.
Ruben.
Ruben.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Ruben's great.
Yeah. You forgot. Okay, so Amber Ruby, Mulan, Ruben, and then you play Horseman. And then the Horseman sings Pick Up Your Bow.
Grab
Grab
your
your
bow.
Grab your
Yeah,
bow.
pick it up.
Equip bow.
Go.
So yeah, I mean, you're looking at a lot of really good curves out of the yellow red deck and a lot of just really strong anti-aggressive tools. Right? If you go like Mulan into Ruben, suddenly they're having a really hard time questing because you could theoretically shift your Mulan into the big Mulan and kill every single character they've played so far. That beats 3 daisies easily, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And they kind of have a lot of game against some of the more like mid-rangey decks because the new Minnie Mouse from I think maybe set 8 is like a terrifying card if you're trying to like get into the weeds of we're trading damage.
Mhm.
So if I like quest with everybody and play Minnie Mouse, suddenly you're in a really bad spot if you're trying to deal with everything the like honest way of combat.
Mhm.
In that way, Purple Steel's lost a little bit because I feel like it hasn't gained as much ground as some of these other archetypes, and Purple Steel is now put in a lot of really awkward positions all the time.
Purple Steel is put in a lot of awkward positions. I think that Purple Steel is still a S tier deck.
Great.
I mean, I think that I think Angel's a good addition to the deck, and I think that that allows the deck to be more focused on like just playing a bunch of cards that say draw cards.
Like docking.
Yeah, I think you could more focus on 4 docks, 4 books, 4 Demonas,
Sure.
4 Hades, and then like everything else is like, oh, I'll just get rid of this card.
I'll turn into Fire the Cannons, yeah.
Fire the cannons, fire the cannons, fire the cannons. I also think that it's a deck that could take advantage of, oh, let me just empty my hand so I can get the resist to, and then, crack the books later.
Great stuff.
So I think that it got upgrades, and got more games. So I just think that that's only good for that deck.
Blue Steel, also potentially a player.
Yep. I mean, Angel's an ally, and Pete is an ally. So we ended up playing Blue Steel in our versus video. So that's going to be posted sometime this week, I think Thursday. And so, yeah, Nathan pilots it. What'd you think of it?
It's a ton of fun. It's actually my number one like tested deck right now. I really, really love the Allies version. You get a Jasmine out, you start getting some card advantage. Now you have card advantage from Pete. You've got your
Pete
classic.
is an ally.
Yes, Pete is an ally, which is super relevant for Jasmine. He's also like a house, like a 5/5 can be tough for a lot of decks to deal with. Obviously, you can put him away as we were talking about earlier with like Let It Goes and that kind of stuff.
World's greatest criminal.
Yes, and that is actually against the yellow decks. I think that World's Greatest Criminal Mind is like stock is going up. It hits Demonas, it hits Pete's, it hits I think a lot of relevant cards. But yeah, I really like it. I think the Goliath plus Angel is like a really like interesting. It lets you kind of turn whatever you're drawing 1-drop Jasmine. You're like, well, I don't really want to play this. I'm just gonna again turn it into a Fire the Cannon. So I think that there's a lot of play in the deck, and it's one of the decks that I'm really excited for to continue to keep playing on.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Great.
I think we've always known that it has game into the aggro stuff. I think the big question is, can it deal with some of the more mid-rangey, like blue-purple, for example? Can it not just get ran over by blue-purple?
I mean, I felt like at the beginning of the format, at least when Blurple wasn't that popular and Purple Steel was like the most dominant deck of set 10, like that was like very early on, right? And I felt like when I was playing Purple Steel, I was beating Blurple pretty consistently. And I felt like I had a better matchup spread against everything else. So I think that I don't think the deck goes anywhere. I think it continues to stay, and I think it continues to dominate because I think it still lines up well against some of these other new strategies like red yellow and potentially blue yellow.
Blue Yellow. Yeah, World's Greatest Criminal Mind. Pretty interesting removal spell. I was thinking about that. All right, so that's the metagame. We got a whole new world to explore, which should be pretty exciting.
We didn't talk about the winner of the last DLC.
Oh, green blue. Is that
Oh,
one,
green blue.
is that one falling off substantially? So there have been some updates on like Fungus's Metafy
Mm-hmm.
for like what he would do with set 11. Of course, I haven't read those.
Nice.
Great. So if you're curious about green blue, you go over there. I don't know much about green blue right now. In my mind, it's been totally usurped by yellow blue. I just think the ability to have the reset button of Raging Storm is like so important.
Yeah, on Fight Club, I think the most popular deck is yellow blue by a mile,
Mhm.
and I think that yellow blue's matchup against blue green is pretty dominant. Um,
Their reset button seems a lot easier than your reset button of play small Philip, sing song shift.
Especially when if you manage to do that, I get to Horseman strikes your Phillip, and now you're like back to square one.
yeah, it's also the fact that you have like Ludwig to be able to snipe the combo right before it happens is like pretty brutal.
Ludwig, Mowgli, it's like tough to play against that. Although I think those cards are kind of on the chopping block for blue yellow in a lot of cases.
And it's not like you have a lot of cards in your hand in with blue yellow, so it's not like their Clarabelles are like this amazing thing.
Yeah. You can make them bad for sure.
Make him mad.
Like I never feel like I have like, oh my god, too many cards with blue yellow. No, I just have the right amount all the time.
I don't know. If you're winning, then you start getting a lot of cards, right? Your Stitches are drawing cards. Ohana means family might trigger.
Yeah, but not really.
The John Silver gives your thing reckless. You're like, all right, I'm going to challenge my Hades into your John Silver, and I'm going to draw 5 cards.
Yeah, draw
Yeah.
fives.
I did have
It
back
puts
to
him
back
in like
turns
awkward
earlier.
positions.
I have back to back turns of draw 4 off of Hanamin's family. Those were fun.
I know you had you had almost your whole deck in your hand and then you died.
Ryan, why? What happened?
He got the one out. It's okay.
No, I could have drawn strength too. I had this sick play where I had a Pluto and a Doc and a
Cinderella.
and I'm at 15.
Okay.
So how do I get to 20?
What does Pluto do?
Pluto says whenever a steel character banishes
other steel character.
other steel character banishes another character, banishes a character, it gains the lore.
Oh, so you had to use your dock to get something.
Yeah, but
I looked at his hand though to make sure he didn't have anything to ping with, right? So I thought it was improbable that he got the dock to get
I
something.
did have the 7-drop Vincenzo,
Okay.
but there was nothing on the field that had 4 toughness.
Right.
So I couldn't get rid of it. So I was like, okay, how do I do this? So I played it, and then I inked my Pete, and then played a Doc, and I hit an Angel, and that Angel allowed me to deal 2 damage instead of 3 damage,
Whoa, Angel.
which allowed me to deal 2 damage to a Cinderella, which allowed the Doc to take it out, which made me go to 20 exactly.
So you used the Vincenzo to do. Vincenzo did 2 because it turned into a Fire the Cannons via Angel.
No,
Vincenzo wasn't relevant at all.
I just played the Vincenzo to deal with Hades that had 3 damage on it,
Sure.
and then I just played a Doc, and I still had 4 left over.
Oh, you were like building through to your turn. Vincenzo was your starting point.
Yep.
Makes sense. Wow, cool stuff. And that was in the blue steel versus amber yellow. I keep saying that. Amber blue. I don't know what to call blue yellow.
Blello.
Hello.
Blello.
It's great.
Let us know in the comments what you prefer. Blello is my pick.
Yep, let us know in the comments. I've been calling it Old Reliable. 'Cause it's
Never been reliable at all.
Old Reliable.
New old reliable.
He won the
New
first
guy.
Invitational, the Todd Anderson Lorcana Invitational.
What is that?
Remember the game first came out and Todd Anderson was doing a Lorcana Invitational and Don DeLozier played the blue-yellow deck and beat red-purple.
But that wasn't a real tournament.
Oh, I didn't know. But Brendan DeCanio played in it. You think he's not a real tournament?
They said that they invited the best players, but
They invited the best players.
But what of those players still are playing the game?
Brendan DeCanio's making the game.
I mean, I think he's a amazing player.
Yeah.
A great player.
Yep.
Maybe one of the best.
Okay.
But he's not playing the game.
All right. No, he is. He's making the game.
But that's not playing the game.
He probably has to play the game every day at work.
But that has nothing to do with playing tournaments, playing DLC, and going to Worlds. It's a different thing.
This is probably the first set, by the way, that we've
He is
seen.
definitely one of the best players, no doubt in my mind.
This is probably one of the first sets, by the way, that we've seen some like Brendan DeCanio cards in terms of like the timeline of when he joined and like how long it takes for cards to.
I'm really excited to see what he brews up. I like the way that he thinks about the game.
This is Winterspell is the first like DeCanio influence set.
Yeah. Then I want to see how Moyen influences it. with the Candio. I think those two are probably butting some heads.
Moyan's like, we should print boring cards. Kenyo's like, we should print fire, like insane cards that flip the whole table.
No, I feel like they both believe in balance to some extent.
Moyan's like, what about like a 2/3 that you could tap it to give something else +1/+1? Everyone's like, what's wrong with you? It's like not very exciting at all. That's his like wildest dream of a card.
All right, Ryan, do you think we should?
Yeah. We should switch gears, and we have a little bit of a game to play. Seems like these days a lot of people are doing some tier lists, so I thought before release weekend here we could go ahead and get a little Club Lorcana tier list to start us off. Go through some of the cards that we think are going to be spicy or people are talking about a lot, and see where we fall.
Yeah, so we're gonna be putting the tier list in the YouTube description if you want to follow along there, or we're gonna have it on this TV just in case you can't see it. We put it in the description. Let's get started.
All right, so we're looking at cards from the new Winter Spell set. We got first one up is the new Angel. So just so you know, we're aiming to have like 2 or 3 cards in S, about 7 cards in A, and then it sort of nominally distributes from there.
Cool.
Let's see where they fall. We can always change them as we go through as well. So we're going to go with Angel first. She's a 3/3, and she's got the ability where if you discard a card, you can deal 2 damage.
And she also gets resist too. Thank you, Nathan, who graciously went back there to technically support our tier list making.
So here's a question. Okay, if there's a steel deck, let's say there's amber steel, there's purple steel, and there's blue steel as the 3 primary steel decks, which of the steel decks would not play Angel?
I think the most likely to play Angel is blue steel, then purple steel, then amber steel is the least likely.
But I think that all 3 end up playing them.
I agree. So I think that makes it super relevant.
Exactly. So
Angel's that good?
I think that relevance and how much it sees play is what gives it its
Tier status.
But I don't think it literally hoses a whole archetype, which is aggro, because Willow is part of 2 major aggro decks, which is going to be an amber steel aggro deck and a dogs aggro deck, and I think that it hoses both of those strategies. I mean, I think it's it's also inkable, so you don't like it.
What's your argument?
I think it's S tier.
Oof.
No, I think it's A tier.
I'm really happy to put it in A tier for sure. I could be convinced S tier as we get through this.
So
list.
what is an example of an S tier card?
Big Sisu would have been an S tier card. I think Diablo is an S tier card.
But
Hiram Flaversham.
Sisu, 8-drop Sisu, I would argue is a tier card because it was dominant in one specific deck, as opposed to like were all the red purple decks playing it.
I lost to Ed in Dallas, and he was playing it.
But what I'm saying is majority of the red purple decks ended up not playing Sisu.
All right, fine. We can put Angel in S.
No, I'm just trying to figure out what's the most important criteria. And I'm like, I actually think that it goes in every steel deck.
Yeah, it's 100% A plus, and we'll see if it makes its way to S. Is my mind.
All right, up next, Angler. Nathan, what's this thing do?
Angela, it's a 2/3 gargoyle, and it turns off the downside of your other gargoyles. It turns off Stone by Day.
Stone by Day.
So it's a 2/3 for what?
For steel.
For
2.
3.
Resist and Challenger 2 to all characters.
Just one. So it's like the Ilyana from Worlds Testing, the like 2/3 for 3 that comes in and makes something a good attacker.
Yeah.
But it turns off Stone by Day.
So it's like good with the 4/4.
Lexington,
yeah.
She gets stuck a lot. Demona gets stuck in situations.
Okay. A +2 Challenger and what was the other resist? That's pretty decent.
It's got a lot of words on there.
I say D tier.
I think better than that. I think C. I think it'll have a niche. She's also an ally, and I put her in blue steel. Ooh, she's an ally, you say? Interested?
D tier.
I think she's good enough for C.
Let's put her in D, and let's see where everything else lands. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
All right, up next. Now this card is amazing. Colors of the Wind. 4 cost song. Draw 4 cards.
I'm a hater.
On average, we think she draws like 1.7 cards every time you play it.
I
It
think
also
that-
costed you a card because it's a card, so 0.75 plus.
I think it's a card that becomes better and better as multicolored cards see more and more play, and more multicolored cards are printed. I just have tested the card enough to know that I think that there's not going to be enough diversity and multicolored cards to ever get above 2.
So, what if 2v2 becomes a serious tournament format? Does that make this card better? Now we can draw 6 cards.
We're not basing our tier list off of that, though.
Talking about 2v2, you can't sail anymore.
What do you mean?
Apparently, someone in our comments said, like, you guys forgot the best rule change, like the worst rule change of all, which is like you can't sail or Cinderella in a 2v2 format.
What do you mean? You can't play those cards?
Like, they just don't work.
They don't activate off of your teammates' trigger of them.
Gotcha.
Of
Right?
course not.
Is that what they said?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, you can't sail anymore in 2v2. I think that is pretty clear to everybody. Colors of the Wind. Let's go with S tier. This thing draws 4 cards.
I will give it a B tier.
What?
I'd give it C.
C.
Okay, sure. See,
It's a strong C. This card sucks.
Right
Speaking of-
now, in this very moment, she's a C in my mind.
I mean, are we, if it, I'm also including Infinity in my
Okay.
thought process. I think that it could see much like more play in.
It is a song.
Yeah.
It
Seems
being a
worse.
song helps it a lot.
Seems worse than Friends on the Other Side.
Friends on this other side was like a busted card, though. So yeah.
Yeah.
I have foil Japanese.
But I mean, there's another card here. It's the red one, which says like if a character was banished.
Okay, let's go to that card then.
Yeah, let's go
We're
to
gonna
that.
move on to marching off to battle.
Marching off to battle, I think, is a solid B.
If a character was banished that turn,
If
you get to draw 2 cards.
exactly, I think that Colors of the Wind is better.
No.
In
that card.
purple, you have a lot better options, right? You have things like Junior Woodchuck's Guidebook. Red needed this to stay afloat.
Yeah, but I think that red purple is the deck that's going to see play, and I still rather play
Colors of the Wind.
Colors of the Wind.
Yeah, I'd probably play Colors of the Wind and Red Purple, but marching off to battle enables basically, I mean, that red yellow deck we already talked about enables red blue.
I think that they're the
really
same
deck.
tier list. That's what I'm thinking.
All right, then I put them both in C.
Happy with that.
Do you want to build a snowman? This card, I don't know what it costs, and it does nothing. So I'm going to put it in D.
D tier.
This is another one of those decisions.
If there was an
right?
F tier, it would be there.
Yeah, this is the worst card in the set, pretty much.
Yes.
I don't
But
even
it-
remember what the decision is. It's like,
But it's a great song.
Great song.
do you want to build a snowman? Yeah, I don't mind. it.
Ride our bikes around the hall.
No, I don't.
I honestly think that they should have done a better job.
Yeah, you would think they would have given it a busted ability. I think it's yes. If they say yes, you gain 3 lore.
Yeah.
If they say no, they have to banish one of their characters, and they get to choose.
But why do they get to choose?
Yeah, that's bad.
You should get to choose.
I agree.
Like, you gave them the choice. Now you get the choice.
You deferred to the second half.
Exactly. So
All
let me
right.
choose now.
Now we got Grab Your Bows. This is a 5-cost card that banishes 2. It brawls twice. This is 2 brawls on a
Double
stick.
brawl.
S tier.
It's broken card.
I think it's S tier.
I'm put an A.
S. And then we'll work our way down after when we get the rest of the
I
cards.
think
just
it
think
has a strong case for us for sure.
I think it's A because red's just not that good yet.
It's S.
Okay.
There's no red deck. I don't think that there's a single red deck that does not play it. And I think that people are doing it wrong if they're not playing all of them.
The next card, Let It Go.
We talked a little bit about this card already. It
Mhm.
kind of breaks the format, we think.
I
right?
think in this metagame, it's so good. I want to put it
Okay.
in A tier.
I'm also at A tier.
Certainly an A tier. Yeah.
We've had this card before, is the thing. We know that it's not this like unbeatable Banzuke, and that it definitely has drawbacks, especially as more good cards with boost come out, et cetera, et cetera.
Certainly.
Lilo.
Zombie Lilo.
Nope.
6 cost 3/5 that shifts for
C tier.
This card, I think, is like a trap. I think this card's
Yeah.
horrible. Whenever it quests, you get to play a card with 2 or less from your discard pile to play.
Get out of here.
It's been very poor in testing.
I don't like it.
I think this card's bad. I think it's not what you want to be doing.
I
in
think
dog deck.
the best case scenario is that you bring back a dock. But how do you put a dock in your bin?
Play it.
That feels too hard.
Yeah, it seems niche. It's not going to make its way into.
Well, I guess you can play Mulan. That's not fair. Oh, you can discard it to Angel.
Yeah.
That's cool too. But then you have a 3/5 which dies to everything.
Up next, we have a
Bad
card that is, been the subject of much online debate. We have Moana.
B tier.
5 costs 4/4, allows you to ink from your discard.
B tier.
I think almost the definition of a B tier card. It's like pretty good, but even when it's really doing its thing, you're just like, oh yeah, this is having a subtle but firm impact on the game.
Yep.
It's really good with Cinderella. I think getting another activation off your Cinderella is really good. And it's a 4/4 body.
And the fun thing about it with Cinderella is you can play it the turn after you played Cinderella and then ink out of your discard pile.
Here's the question. There are a bunch of blue decks. Blue red, blue yellow, purple, and blue steel.
Yeah.
Do all of the blue decks play Moana?
I think blue red and blue yellow do.
Okay, so then or blue green.
Blue green probably does not.
Okay, then we have the answer.
I think
B tier.
I think B tier is fine.
We just said more than half the decks blue decks would not play it.
Yeah. So that makes it worse than Angel.
Broken Mulan card.
Yep, the Broken Mulan. 2 cost 1/4 Mulan that quests for up to 6, depending on how big its power is.
B tier.
I think B tier. I think A tier.
It wouldn't go in every green deck.
It only goes in a deck. I think it's actually supposed to just go in a deck built around it.
Yep. And it's so much to ask for.
Okay.
I think B is fair to start. I think it can make its way into A tier. I think it can break the game if it's in the right deck.
That's fair.
Speaking of A tier cards, Ohana means family.
I like it. I like Ohana means family.
This card has huge upside on your big butt Amber characters. This thing could draw up to 4 cards for 3, and that's enough to put the game in your favor.
I love the card. We'll go with A.
And it's gonna change how people play moving forward. I think this one has a stronger case for S tier than
I don't think that it's going to see play in every single yellow deck.
really.
Like for example, if you're playing aggro.
This could almost see play in dog, right? If your tramp picks up a bunch of damage. And you
No, but what I'm saying is I don't think that it sees play in that. I think it's a dead card most of the time.
Okay.
Like you have to get that very specific scenario. Whereas Rapunzel, you would 100% play it.
Every time.
Yep. Especially if you can.
Head to head, Ohana means family and grab your bow. Which one's better?
Huh?
Head to head, Ohana means family and grab your bow.
I think that grab your bow should be in every red deck. And I don't think that Ohana means family is not going to see play in every yellow deck.
Fair enough.
Okay.
And we already have one, dogs.
Let's go with the impeccable monster, Dragon Lord Pete.
I think put him straight into S tier.
I'm going to give him
Costs
A.
5/5. A.
I would vote S. I think this card is like format defining
Yeah,
and
I think
like
it's really good.
A.
there's going to be
A.
so many games where if they don't answer Pete, that's why you ran away with it.
Let's
It's a game
Put
winner.
it in A. I'm going to tell you,
We'll arm wrestle for it.
you play him, if he's answered on the spot,
My tiny.
it was such a huge loss.
Sure, 100%.
And I just think that, I honestly think that 5 cost Hades is better than him.
5 cost Hades is
3,
better
4.
than him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Hades does just draw 2.
So I think it's going to have a tough time finding room in Blurple. Which is going to be the deck that would want to play Blurple. So it's a second tier Hades. A second tier draw engine to a lot of decks, but a lot of decks needed him. But does it auto go in every deck? It's more like a Cinderella in the sense that, do we play Cinderella in Blurple? No, Blurple is so freaking good that you don't need to play Cinderella.
I agree that you might struggle to find room for Pete and Blurple. I feel like every other blue deck, it's like not close. I think blue red, it's not close.
And that's the reason
So
why I
much
think
fun.
it stays off of S is because it does not see play in every 100% blue deck.
I can
Just-
be convinced, yeah. Is it the second best boost card printed so far?
What are the other
Behind Cheshire Cat?
Cheshire Cat, this, and then what's even third?
I just think it's clearly best.
That
boost card.
Ursula,
Oh yeah, third is that. Or what about the genie? People play that genie a lot.
the new one.
Yeah, the 3/4. Each time you put a card underneath it,
Quest for one more.
Yeah.
That card is surprisingly good.
yeah, I think it's like a purple steel new Cobra.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's interesting.
All right. Let's move on. Pete sitting in A tier for now. Got strong. Nathan, can you move it to the top of A tier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's
Definitely.
keep Pete on top of A tier. You have to pass.
Then you can put Ohana means family in front of Let It Go.
I think that's fair.
Sure. All right, moving on. We've got Raging Storm. This was Ravensburger's experiment to see how bad they could make a card that said banish all characters, but still let it see play.
A tier.
I think B tier.
I got A.
A
I got
tier.
A. I like it.
It
In the right deck.
single-handedly. It's the last one. Yep. It single-handedly made a color combination that was not playable into one of the best decks.
Right. You can now play blue-yellow because you have access to Raging Storm, but you can only play Raging Storm in blue-yellow, and it has the same problem that Be Prepared had. Sometimes 2 or 3 of them get stuck in your hand, and you will lose that game.
Yes.
Or sometimes we play Cinderella and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Cinderella can get rid of it. That's my favorite part about blue yellow.
Or
Real
Tipo.
good, extremely powerful card. All right, up next, Stitch, the Carefree Snowboarder. I think this guy goes solidly in B tier.
Yeah, B.
He's a role player.
Really
He's good.
solid card. Yeah.
He's good when he's good. He has Pete's problem a little worse. where
No.
he's answered-
I think he's a C tier, honestly. I think that in the final version of Blue Yellow, the thing is like, which deck is he gonna see playing? Blue Yellow is the number one, but Pete beat like every time you ink the freaking Stitch over the Pete, because if someone plays a Stitch and someone plays a Pete, the Stitch can't quest.
The Pete is better. Stitch is a worse Pete. Pete really hammers down how good Stitch is. I think Stitch is a pretty fine card, though, and it's nice to see Amber cards that cost more than 4 seeing any amount of play.
No, I'm happy that it's a decent card, but
It's better than Lilo.
I think about Yellow Red as a deck, and I'm like,
Marching to battle.
dang, Stitch doesn't even see play in my Yellow Red deck.
Fair enough. All right. Let's move on. We got Sven.
The broken Sven card we talked about. 4 cost
do like Sven.
uninkable.
I'm gonna put it at the top of B. It's uninkable. So you have to ask yourself, what is the right number to play? It has not taken the place of Genie in my mind yet. It is definitely up there, and I think it definitely should see play in some number, but it's not like you can say, oh, my sale deck can just play 4 of these.
Agreed.
Is it crazy that I feel like I want to put this card in S tier? I feel like this single-handedly opens up Blurple to no longer just lose to aggressive decks
Because
like that.
okay, if you're playing Purple Steel, would you play this card?
Oh, interesting. I know.
Exactly. Done.
All right.
You're saying one of the best Purple Steel has been the best or the second best purple deck.
Okay, but imagine if one of these cards was multicolored. Would you be like, this is a multicolored card automatically for you gated at the B tier?
This entire tier maker, this entire tier list has no multicolored cards, so it's not part of this equation.
But do you see what I'm saying? I feel like the metric of how many decks can play this card
No,
is a weird one.
But you need to do that if we're doing it for a set where it's about multicolored, then we can change it up. But for this, this list includes 0 multicolored cards in the set itself.
I don't think every card goes to that filter. Some cards can break that filter because they're so massively good in one singular deck. For example, the Raging Storm, right? You're not going to play it in every deck, but because it's so good and it made yellow-blue a thing, it can kind of circumvent that filter.
I think Raging Storm has so many drawbacks, and I think I would move Stitch and Raging Storm to B.
No.
All right, up next, we got Tigger.
No way. Don't do it.
No.
Because Stitch is going to not see play, even in blue yellow lists. It's just not going. Pete is gonna beat it out.
Stitch is good.
And then the other aspect is, I don't think that Storm. I think Storm is gonna see play in every blue yellow deck, whereas Stitch won't see play in every blue yellow deck. Let's go on to Tigger.
Tigger 4/3 bounces a guy that is
Costs 2 or less.
2 or less,
Can also bounce items.
and locations.
Not a lot of locations that cost 2 or less. I think this card is between C or B. Maybe not even. I think this card is good and it feels good straight away. And if you're on the play with Blurple, it's pretty good. But if you ask me if Purple Steel plays this, probably not.
it's not as good as Sven, right?
I'm gonna give it at the end of B tier.
Sure.
There can be an argument for it being C tier, but I think that let's say, for example, the first tournament is won by dogs. I think that every purple deck is even Purple Steel would be let me put Tigger into my deck because at worst I can bounce my own dog.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you could even do a chain reaction, which is cool. You can bounce an Olaf, which can bounce the dog.
Whoa. Cool.
I got my ink and my dock for turn.
So I think that there's an argument to be made there, and plus it can stop that Mulan right there. So in my mind, I think of it as a better card than
Mulan.
Mulan.
Because it
for sure.
answers Mulan.
I just think it sees more play.
All right, now we have everyone's favorite big green animation target. This is Todd. What's cool about Todd is they printed another card that's a 6-cost card that brings it out of the graveyard and puts it right into play.
Yeah.
Called Widow Tweed. So outside of a Widow Tweed strategy, though,
How much is Willow Tweed cost?
6.
How do you spell
Willow
it?
Tweed.
Willow Tweed. What is it?
Widow
Widow Tweed. Okay,
Yeah.
tell me.
Say it
But-
3 times fast.
Cost 6. I think it's like a 2/6 that quests for 3. And when you play it, you
Uh-huh.
get to move a character from your discard pile to your hand. But if that character's name is Todd, it goes right into play.
And what colors are there?
That would be yellow and green.
Oh, so you could do it in.
The Fox Dog deck.
You could do it like you could just play 1 cost, put it in the bin,
Yep.
and then
Bobby's
play.
and Maruski it.
Okay, and
If
then
you're playing dogs.
and
you're
it's
playing,
is it just a 6/6?
it's a 6/6 that has an ability of whenever it gets targeted with an action, it untaps. That might not be true. What does Todd do?
I think the first time you play an action in a turn.
Nathan? Eyes on Todd?
Eyes on Todd. All right, we got a 7-cost, 6/6, quest for 2, evasive. Twice during your turn, whenever this character is chosen for an action or an item's ability, you may ready them.
Or an item's ability. Ooh.
I mean, my spidey senses are going out the roof in terms of like, oh, I want to build with this card and see. I'm gonna put it in unknown territory. I'll put it at B for now.
B tier. So there's a possibility that there's just a deck built around this guy, and that deck is good.
Yeah.
So, but I think outside of a deck built around him, this card is obviously pretty much doesn't do anything. And
The fact that it quests for 2 is massive.
massive, and you can untap it 3. It could do it. It could quest for 6 in a turn. If you target it with your Ink Runner and untap it,
What about
Interesting card for
improvise?
or improvise, or any number of things. The fact that an item triggers it means we don't even know. All right, up next, big monster. This is Grandmother Willow.
S tier.
S tier. This is a 2-cost 1/2 that says your next character that you play this turn costs 1 less.
I think that's fair. It is the best card on this list.
I mean, I play Monstro and I think it belongs in Monstro. So I'm like, which Amber deck does not want to play this card?
Yellow, blue.
Yellow blue.
Yeah.
Let's hit it first.
So it could be towards the lower end of S tier.
All right.
I don't think those other 2 cards are better than it.
I don't think those 2 cards are better than it either.
But Angel does answer Grandmother Willow, so maybe we can keep Angel above Grandmother.
Yeah. So both of those cards answer that card.
That's true.
All right. As we look at our tier list, is there anything that you guys think we've missed? Anything that's in the wrong spot? Notably, if you want to play an A tier deck, Amber Sapphire's right there.
That is interesting. Yeah.
We almost got a perfect bell curve. I think we got-
Yeah. I was trying to go for it, but we just have 1 card too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any card that is at the top of your mind that you think we should have done on the list and you want to put it on, but I mean it's obviously not loaded on. But
Yeah.
Just put some like crappy common here, and we'll put it at the bottom. So we're like, ooh, nice curve.
Pudge, we talked about Pudge a lot.
Oh, yeah,
does
put
Pudge
Pudge in
fit
D.
I wouldn't put Pudge in D though.
I know, me neither. But I want to tell me about a card that we put in D.
In D tier that people are playing.
Oh, it's got to be your opponent only has villains, and you can tap it for a lore.
Oh, I got it. Darkwing Duck.
Boo. Darkwing Duck is good. I think that the his glider is the one that I want to put down there.
I know you do, and that's exactly the card I was thinking of.
And that way I can still play a D tier card in like a major tournament.
Oh man.
All right. Well, thanks so much. That was our game. Nathan, you can come on back.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, Nathan.
Well done.
Well done, everybody who was Nathan.
What do you
And
think
we're
of the
back.
list, bro?
You got any hot takes on our list? Would you
Our
put
farmer
something-
returns.
Any hot takes?
You're really Nathan up this list.
Like, did you hate anything that we did?
Man,
Put
now
some
I have to
Nathan on.
remember back to all the things in the list.
You remember it clear as day.
He was playing on phone
Mhm.
game the whole time. He's been playing Heroes of History, the new gacha game.
Oh man.
I like Angel and S. Grandmother Willow, I think, is gonna be maybe towards, I would say, the top of S, because it's like it's gonna be a super duper relevant card, and it requires to have things like grab your bow and Angel in your deck to like answer, or it gets like out of hand really quickly. I'm trying to think of any. It's mostly like if I disagree on anything, it would have been the bees. What were in the bees? We
All
had
the yellow blue cards. So Raging Storm,
That was
Let
A.
It Go.
Brainstorm was A.
Oh, true.
It was like Mulan, Moana,
Todd.
Todd. That was mainly because it's untested. Was another good card.
I might rate Mulan a little higher, because I think that there can be multiple decks that could be really good with her. You have like some version of a dog variant that could be explored, but also I think she actually might be even better in a like burn variant, because you don't have to get the full 6 lore for her to be super relevant in that. And you can play. You're not necessarily playing like the Ladies in the Trance, but you could play the 1-cost song that buffs based on the number of characters you have, just to get like a quick 5 lore. And then in that deck, it's like super. Every 2 or 3 lore is like super relevant in that deck. So I'd maybe rate Mulan a little bit higher. I think it's a card that everybody's like worried about, and I think that could be one of the decks that is really annoying with
You
her.
probably still play Tramp.
You play Tramp without the discount just to do it.
It's possible that you play the 1-cost lady.
I like it cooking.
Yeah, in the green purple deck. Yeah, when I see green purple Mulan come out, I'll be like, okay, we'll move it up to A tier.
There was something that you guys put in. Oh, I okay. Here's my hot take. You guys put in D tier, the Angela.
Mhm.
I think that card has overperformed in my testing in Blue Steel Allies. I don't know the exact like balance and the mix, because I was trying to figure out like the balance between like which gargoyles you want to include to get that, more on the ability. But even just the resist 2 challenger 2 can be super relevant, especially if like let's say you don't find your. So it's like a redundancy to help you in the aggressive matchups if you don't get to the Angel.
I feel like that effect made a lot of sense in purple, where like some of your guys weren't like the biggest in the world at the beginning, but in steel you're supposed to have the biggest, best at challenging guys. So the like make one of your guys better at challenging. In steel to me is always a little redundant.
Yeah, if it had like an effect that said like you can attack ready characters, I would do it.
I like the resist. So like going like 1-drop Jasmine, 2-drop Jasmine, and then giving my Jasmine resist 2 to mess up their whole math on the next turn to try to kill my Jasmine, and I drew 2 cards, potentially being the Angela herself was kind of. And then she can sing strength on.
Your 4/4 gets to take out their 5/5 Pete and live.
It makes the most sense with Goliath, but at the same time, I'm like, it just feels so narrow. Like, in which matchups do I need this resist to? It's like specifically a deck that doesn't have a way to like Hades it or let it go. It just feels awkward to me. Plus, like we've built the allies deck so many times. How many times do we have like extra?
Yeah, it's super. That's what I said. I was having a tough time trying to figure out like the counts of her. I think it's a consideration, so that's why I wouldn't necessarily put it in A or B tier, but I thought the D tier was a little low based on like when she was good, she was like really good in a lot of the decks.
Do you think
I
that
played her
there's
in.
a chance that she sees 0 play?
We're also not considering like a potential like Ruby Steel Gargoyles deck, turning off all your Gargoyles' ability. Like they have some really good Gargoyles.
There's some
But
huge
the,
gargoyles
but the
in Ruby's
potential
tiers.
for this is way less than the 6/6 that could be played for free.
A 6/6 that you can play for free is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just moving it into C tier, not B tier. That was
and the 6/6 happens through 2 green cards.
Sorry, a green card and a yellow card.
Yeah, it was a green yellow combo. Or you could play it in green by itself and use the evolution device or whatever it's called. Some people thought about that.
Oh, true. We didn't put that card on the tier list. The evolution item, the new birthing pot. I had to say it.
There's a combo where you play the 4-drop
This is Andrew
Todd
talking about.
into evolution device to play Tweed, and then you can play out either the 4-drop one or if you had discarded the 6-drop one.
So what's the
turns earlier?
Is that the best combo?
It's a good combo.
Probably that's a turn 4 or.
How much does it cost to play and activate?
It costs 1 to activate.
The 4? So it costs 3 to play in one.
I think it
deck.
costs 4 to play in one deck.
Yeah, I think so. The soonest you could do that would be like turn 5. You could and then drop all those.
A card that I always want to get rid of is my Cinderella. So what could that become?
Could become anything +6, +2 to a Cinderella. So John Silver or
A Pete. You could change it. You
Pete?
could turn it into a Pete, and
Hmm.
which plays for free, so then you can still boost them.
Interesting.
You could also turn your like T-pos into 3-drop. I don't know.
you could turn it into a Ebenezer
A 4-drop.
Scrooge. Give all your guys ward.
Wow.
Yeah, you could turn your T-po into a Cinderella.
It's not birthing pod in the sense that it doesn't get it from your deck, right?
Right. It gets it from your hand.
So it's got to be in your hand.
All right. What else do we have to talk about? What's on the docket? We got upcoming events. Zan is flying to Taiwan soon.
All right, so Ryan and I are going to Ghent,
True.
and then
Belgium.
we're trying to figure out if Taiwan the next weekend is possible.
Back-to-back weekends would be pretty sweet. A 4,000 player event into
500 per-
500 in Taiwan. Sounds interesting.
Like-
I
crazy.
always have wanted to go to Taiwan. Well, it's still Taiwan, so that'd be extremely fun, I think. Definitely a big opportunity. We don't know what.
What?
Right. That's what I'm wondering. I'm just saying-
Taipei is an awesome city.
been there?
Yeah, I've lived there for 6 months.
Yeah, we knew that about Nathan. That's why he has a big Taiwan
That's
tattoo.
why I
Whoa.
always talk about that semester in college.
Yeah. Yeah, so
We killed the man.
great international city, tons of great food. Public transit there really good too. So yeah, I would rave reviews for
Bro, I
Taiwan.
keep forgetting. I keep thinking you lived in Korea.
He lived in Korea also.
I also lived in Korea
lived in both
for
those
like
countries.
3 months.
Yeah, I mean, we missed the boat on Czechoslovakia. So Taiwan, like, we got to get in while the getting's good.
Let's try to figure out a way.
Yeah, definitely. What? Is it like bad to say that countries stop existing sometimes?
What do you mean?
Right, exactly. I just don't understand what you guys.
It
are
is
doing.
Olympic season, and currently Russia and someone else can't. Belarus maybe can't compete under their flag. So if somebody takes over Taiwan, do you think they couldn't compete?
Perhaps. Yeah, I mean, it'd be tough because you'd have to cut China out, but you got to do it if that's the rule, right?
They're
I
like,
don't even know. The
Interesting.
Olympic organization is just wild.
It's so
I
interesting.
don't want this podcast to get flagged for some
Yeah.
reason.
It's so
Let's move
interesting
on.
because
Move on.
they banned the American ice sculpting team from the Winter Olympics because they're a submission.
Okay, we're done. All right, now.
There was a cool ice skater that talked about magic. So that's cool. It's cool that I think in pop culture that there is more.
Shout out to Amber Glenn, the magic playing Olympian that won a gold medal because she was basically the Jund of ice skating.
But-
almost Lorcana.
Almost Lorcana, close. So hopefully one day we have an Olympian that shouts out Lorcana.
But
But
we do have a picture of her trade binder, counterspell and Ristic Study.
we like blue.
Boo.
Ice.
Yeah, ice makes sense
Fair
for blue.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about
Um,
upcoming CCQs? Are there any of those?
Well, before all those,
Uh-huh.
we have the Winter Spell release.
Yep.
Pre-release is on.
Friday at Gubu Hobby.
And we're all going.
Right.
We are all going minus.
I'm not going.
Minus
our
Danny.
funny guy.
Funny guy.
I was able to negotiate for almost all of Valentine's Day to happen on the 13th to avoid the bad traffic of trying to go out and get food in Atlanta on Valentine's Day.
Oh.
That's fair.
That's
I respect the game, but at
big
Gubu
hassle.
we're going to be doing
See you.
Sealed, which is I think going to be a lot of fun. Also, we should be getting. I think this is the first time that we've got pre-release promos. So for everybody, go out to your. I think it's like the gold bordered card. I don't remember which one. But the new promos now have this similar to the DLC, the bottom gold promo looking thing. So that's kind of
Oh.
cool.
I hope it's B tier plus cards.
I don't remember.
Should have a requirement to be B tier plus. Yes.
I think it's the new bell.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Does that make B tier?
The new. Are we talking about the bell? When things get banished, you put it in.
Yeah.
C plus. C plus.
I'd give that B tier because if you're playing her, you're playing her in a deck that's probably wanting to like challenge.
We have to
in.
decide which one's better, Moana or Belle.
I give it to Moana.
I give it to Bell.
So one of them is in C tier. One of them is in B tier.
Well, one is
Mana has the ability for you to look at your hand at the end of a game and be like, why do I have 7 cards? And be like, oh, I was getting double use out of all of them. And then Bell, like, never really gains you a card. It does this cool other effect, but like, how many times am I playing Amber, Blue, and I decide that I need, like, my character's dying to the inkwell anyway with Moana, plus it's a Nambo with your Cauldron, if you're trying to use Cauldron as a condition to draw more cards, Nambo with that. I just like don't think it's that powerful of a card.
I mean,
It's also,
I can agree.
and this is a big deal, it's also, since you're playing Ohana Means Family, a lot weaker in body stat. It's a 2/3. Ugh. Compared to a 4/4? Ooh.
Yeah, give me the 4/4.
I saw a couple of people play Lilo, the 2 cost, in Willow.
What does it do?
It's the 1/2 or 2.
that comes back from your discard.
Oh, Zombie Lilo. Why?
I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Put some clock on, maybe.
I mean, maybe because your Blurple matchup is the worst matchup, and you're like, oh, let me keep playing this Lilo.
Hey, we're trying to get all 4 of them in the drink so we can use our infinite ink to bring them all back up.
And you can board wipe and then you play her back.
True. She is good again. She's good at with your Raging Storms, but she's bad with the new Bell.
And also bad with the other card, Spooky Time.
She is bad with Spooky Sight. All right. So upcoming events. Oh, I have the upcoming CCQ in Baltimore. I think I already mentioned that.
Good luck.
I want to win.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, I want you to win too.
Well, okay. So I'm the only one at the table that wants me to win. That's fine.
And Nathan, you're gonna go to Houston for Charlie's, right?
No, I can't go to Houston.
Nathan's black hole from it. So Nathan-
just my whole March is just dead.
Nathan works for March Madness, so he basically has a really cushy job 11 months out of the year, but he has a really the opposite of a cushy job next month. He can't do anything. He is no longer exists.
Oh yeah,
Black hole Nathan.
Big basketball guy.
you would have come to Taiwan.
I would have absolutely come to Taiwan.
And then afterwards,
I'd
he's taking us
snap
all
that
out to dinner with his newfound bundles of cash that he gets from working every day in March Madness until midnight.
You can't bet on the games, so probably not.
I thought that was the whole point.
I think you get blacklisted from betting.
Yeah,
when you work for 'em.
probably not a good look.
I didn't understand. He's not one of the athletes. He
There's
just like
What do you
insider
mean?
information based on the network.
Yeah, there's so much.
I bet I could if I wonder what the delay on the feeds are. Anyways, I don't want to talk
more than,
about. I don't
like,
want to talk
3
about
minutes.
this.
It's pretty not existent.
Yes. Moving
Yes.
on.
All right, let's move on to something a little safer.
Any other
What?
any other events? That I can think of.
Can't think of one. There's like CCQs coming up in like Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
And one in San Diego,
I
California.
think it's a while from now, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly, but that's April.
I have it pulled up right here.
Okay, so if we're gonna give advice to people, this is we're about to start the set. Obviously, people are already prepping, but new set, you're trying to go to a CCQ or you're gonna be at one of these DLCs. What's the main path? I think we've talked about it multiple times, but there's a lot of new decks being explored. How much time do you spend on these decks, or do you go to tried and true and you're all right, just stick with the safe Purple Steel or Blurple? If you're giving somebody advice who's on the up and up, what do you do over the next month?
Unfortunately, I think that with Tiago's success and Fungus winning a DLC, that the cat's out of the bag. That once that starter pistol goes and it's time to start testing, showing up with a bigger number is gonna be undefeated. So my plan is, you guys are talking about Arc Raiders, Zan's talking about Deadlock. I'm talking about I get to play Fight Club app only for the next month, basically. That's why I downloaded the gacha game Heroes of History, because you can play that while you play Lorcana.
Yeah, you take time off during that while you're waiting on your opponent to take
Yeah,
90 seconds to do nothing.
You're,
Do
moving
you
to
know?
gacha.
Do you know how complicated of a game Lorcana is? When you're doing that prep, you have to actually be taking something away. It's just not about playing the game.
You get, once you get the highest number, it doesn't matter how on you were, right? I'm listening to Halo 3 soundtrack. I'm playing games over here. I'm watching a movie up here. As long as that number's high, that means that you are the best.
Oh.
But what if
Oh, it works.
let's say you play 1,000 matches and you're in bronze tier.
Yeah.
Do we feel like that was worth the effort?
Yeah, you got all your reps in.
No.
Xan doesn't
It feel like you if you play 1,000 matches and didn't get your 40 wins, you probably
When you're
it's bad
testing, it's really important to pay attention to all your games because you're trying to make micro adjustments on what your plan is in that specific matchup if you decide to play that deck, or your deck needs to make a micro adjustment in its build in order to beat that deck.
It's true.
And if you're just jamming games while doing 10 different things, it is impossible to get all of the extract all of the value out of it. That means that either you play these games and you record them and then you rewatch them later on.
Yeah.
But
Do you do that?
No,
because
because I
nobody
just
does that.
You got to be fully present.
yeah,
is what he's
because I'm
saying.
fully present when I'm doing it.
Oh.
So either if you're just playing the games to play the games, then you should just record it and then watch it. But there's a moment where you have to give 100% full attention to the game. It's so hard.
Bruce Lee once said, "I don't fear the man who plays 1,000 different decks, but the man who plays one deck 1,000 times."
Famously.
Yeah.
That's what Bruce Lee said.
But I think his definition of playing 1,000 times is different than yours.
Yeah, I guess so.
He
He was a
was
pretty
probably-
focused guy.
Very, very locked in. For the first time, I was testing some for Xan when he was going to Hong Kong on dogs,
Mm-hmm.
and this was the first
Thank
time
you,
I
Willow.
spent I actually was taking notes
Yeah, it was
during
so
the matches, and I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. I'm just noting okay, this card kind of was relevant here, blah blah, blah, or oh, if they hadn't drawn that out, or so it was a different. Honestly, it was kind of really stretching my mind because you're you're tabbing between, you're taking notes while you're playing because you're gonna forget over the course of the matches. So I was like, all right, this is really stretching my brain. So I think this next testing season, I'm gonna be taking lots more notes.
I
Looking
used
at-
to take notes.
You're looking at all Zan's notes, and on all of the ones where he lost, it says I should have won this one, and then all the ones. That
No, that's actually really important. You have to acknowledge hey, could I have made this line, this line, this line in order to have won, right?
You
And
learn a lot more from the losses sometimes than you do the wins.
100%. But I should have won that one is actually really good for testing, but it has to be so honest.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not honest, you're so screwed.
I feel like you've never lost a game of Lorcana where
That
you're like,
is
yeah, that made
not true.
You're
That
always
is
like, I
not
should have
true.
won.
That's not true. But on Fight Club, I am always on top 10, almost always.
No.
Why? Why?
What do you mean?
Uh,
Pandemonium's always number one
that is
This
true.
girl.
because of Judy Hopps.
Judy Hopps.
You-
What
oh,
does it say
you
on the back?
I just noticed that you guys are wearing matching
How
T-shirts.
did it take you that long?
Ready to do some justice.
Shout out to Joe.
Ready to do some justice.
Ready to do some justice. The shirt does definitely change its context when justice is around.
Nice.
We got you one too, buddy. Don't worry.
Nice.
Wow. Cool.
I got this at a Uniqlo in Hong Kong.
You did?
No, Ryan did. Is that true?
Oh, he didn't go to Hong Kong.
Where'd he go?
California.
I
San
got this
Diego.
at a Uniqlo in San Francisco.
San Diego.
San Francisco.
Okay.
That's the one that Big
Sure.
Hero 6.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, we all good?
Yeah, we're
Let's
great.
wrap it up, guys. This was such a fun podcast. If you want to see more stuff like this, you can follow me on Twitter at MoxJeremy, MoxJeremy, and that is where you can find my space that I do every Thursdays from 8 to 10. It's a lot of fun. You get to talk to some of the big heavy hitters in the Lorcana community. You know, DKP's in our space. And some other people that are really good. RMB, NVR,
NPR?
Justice, NVR, Terrace Black.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, the owner of the Lorcana Lounge, Braden, almost always stops by to say something. So if you ever want to talk to Braden, that'd be a great opportunity. Ryan, where can they find you?
I'm on Twitter as well. We'll see you guys in Winter Spell and see you at Google on Friday.
Google on Friday. And then Nathan.
Yep. Also on Twitter, just Nathan Tripp, 2 P's and an E.
And then Zan, where can they find you?
You're already here, but make sure you tune in for all of the videos that we're going to be posting about our testing process. Basically, we posted our first versus video of the set 11 yesterday, and then tomorrow you will see another versus video. The day after you'll see another versus video, and the day after you'll see another versus video. And so basically what we want to do is keep you more informed in how we do our testing, and you can see where a deck started from and where a deck ended up at, and see really cool matchups and insights in how we make those micro adjustments. And hopefully it'll translate for all of us in real tournaments and maybe yours.
All right. And it is Zan's birthday month, so everybody in the comments wish him a happy birthday and be sure to like and subscribe.
Peace.
Bye.
Yeah.